Great
So
point.
you were talking there, guys, about pricing, and obviously that being a critical issue, and you sort of start to blur the lines a little bit to talk about value and the value that you can create within an organization. Can you think a little bit more about that and about how you might create value and why that's so important?
Sure. Shall I
Yeah, kick it off.
dive in? Yeah, thanks. No, I was thinking that as we were talking through pricing, it's so closely linked to value, Kat. You're absolutely right. And I think back to a little bit of research we did, I don't know, maybe 18 months, 2 years ago on value, because we were looking at we were trying to find models that showed how people calculate and create value. And there's not an awful lot out there, really. I read with our colleague John Williams, we read a number of the sort of leading sales and business development books looking for the answer to this question. We couldn't really find it. So we put together a little bit of a model about value. And it's basically thinking about two different levels of value, really. You've got within the account that you're managing, you've got shareholder value. So the people who own and run the business right at the top, and they're probably looking for something that will reduce the costs, increase their cash flow or improve their cash flow position, or drive revenue for them. So sales, cash flow, or reducing costs. So if you're working with an account and you're trying to think, what are we doing that's bringing value to that account? Think of it through that lens to start with. What are we doing that is helping them achieve one of those three goals? That's the first level of value. The second level is thinking about the stakeholders in your account. So the people that your service or product is being done to or used by. Who are those kind of stakeholders? If you were a printing company, it would be facilities management and the staff of the company using your printers, for example. So what are they looking for? What makes their lives better? What makes what you do help them do their jobs better? It might not be linked to driving revenue, reducing cost. It will be to do with user experience, efficiency, and those sorts of things. So think of it through that stakeholder lens as well. And if you do that, I bet you will start to build up a bit of a picture of what the things you're doing in the account, what things you're doing to drive value within that account. And once you know that, you can start talking and communicating in value terms, and maybe even sharing in something that I'd call a value report, which has become sort of quite popular with our customers. It's kind of like an SLA or KPI sort of report, but done as a proposal almost. So there's a little bit of a story to it. There's a bit of sort of sharing some of the successes, and there's a bit on more about the value. So not how many calls have we answered, how quickly did we pick up the phone. It's got that in it as well, but it's also got, by doing some of those things, we think we've helped you improve these areas, which are ticking the value buttons, if you like.
Yeah, I was on a call last week, and somebody called the quarterly business review, which is what most of us call it, a quarterly value review. And I was like, I love that idea of just that simple change of word, but now it brings into the things that you're talking about, not just stats, not just we answer the phone in 20 seconds and 99.9% uptime, but to bring in what is the result of that, the benefit of that, what have we helped your business achieve or, improve because of that. And I think for me, value definitely has a few qualities. One, it's got to be useful. One, it has to be relevant. It has to be ideally differentiated, and it also has to be recognized. It's a bit like that, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? It's the same with value. If your client doesn't, you might think it's so valuable, but if your client doesn't see it, meaning you're delivering something they don't care about, or B, you're not telling them that you're doing it, then it's not valuable at all. And obviously you've got those bottom line, cost reduction, cost avoidance, but like you say, other things that improve user experience, that can help you drive efficiencies or make things faster or simpler, easier. And all those things you can bring together through an account plan and just conversations with your client about what they're working on and sharing the good news about the things that you do along the way.